GAP report card shows that from birth to death, Indigenous people are still falling behind in almost every social indicator.
In the Great Hall, great unity of purpose for Indigenous leaders. They delivered the Redfern Statement, a simple but powerful message for politicians.
The Aboriginal community has the solution.
We have the solutions. We do have the solutions.
We drew the line in the sand today. We've been coming here for 9 years, listening to the same old sad old stories.
Indigenous MPs relayed the same message.
The Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people have been crying out for greater control.
The 9th annual Closing the Gap is a report card of failings. The target to close the gap in life expectancy by 2031 will not be met. Despite being on track last year, the target to halve the gap in child mortality rates by 2018 now won't be met either. There's been no improvement in school attendance. There are gains in reading and numeracy rates, but the target to halve the gap by next year will also not be met. Neither will the target to halve the gap in employment. Slow progress is being made on getting 95% of 4-year-olds into education. And there is one bright spot. The government's on track to halve the gap by 2020 on finishing Year 12.
We are still not making enough progress.
The Prime Minister again promised to do things with Indigenous people, not to them.
Indigenous families and communities must be at the centre of this approach. We have started the journey. There's much more work to do.
We must forget the insulting fiction that the First Australians are a problem to be solved.
9 years after the apology to the stolen generation, there are warnings another one could be being created. At last count, 17,000 Indigenous children were placed in out-of-home care away from immediate family.
The overrepresentation of our children in out-of-home care is nothing short of shameful.
Indigenous incarceration rates are also described as such at almost 30% of the prison population. Labor supports the Redfern Alliance's push for that gap to be added to the list and closed as a priority, even as the rest aren't being met.
Whilst there have been some positive changes, as I said, the negatives totally overpower this.
Daniela Ritorto, SBS World News.